420 somewhere.
We got the wood cut straight and we got it glued. Now we got to put some weight on there so it holds flat. The glue unfortunately seeped through to the other side overnight. I had to sand that off, but here we go. Now I have my one-piece ceiling, 5 feet wide. My dad and I came up with a way to hold these foam boards up while I spray glue them into place because the glue needs some time to dry. At the moment, we're examining our options. Even though we always want to get things done quickly, taking some time to think about what you're doing and your options could actually end up saving time in the future. I'm trying to do the most headroom I can, so I'm using 1-inch foam board, polyiso. On the edges, I'm going to use 1/2 inch polyiso. And then the ceiling is going to be 1/8 inch because wood doesn't insulate much anyway, and 1/8 inch should probably get it done. Now that I have my ceiling all glued together, I need to get this foam cut. Greg Virgo, you have the Greg Virgo method, who's in England, and he uses these things. These are the ones that I tore out because it was not working. If you live in a hot climate like Southern California, the glue that's on these things, no matter how well you clean your surface, they do not stick. They fall off, especially on a hot day. It just doesn't work. Maybe I could put some kind of super glue or epoxy. There's probably something that will stick. The Greg Virgo method as it is with these things does not work in a hot climate. These things that you stick on the walls and the ceiling. Where's a piece of foam? You slide your foam on there. And then that holds it on because this is double stick taped. That's how you hold these boards up. With the Greg Virgo method. I'm gonna throw this garbage away that I wasted my money on. Now I gotta cut this piece. I gotta cut this little strip right here. And I gotta cut this piece. This I'm saving for later. I gotta make a piece around the sunroof or skylight. The ceiling is coming together. I have this 3M90 spray glue. I got this pole that my dad gave me. It's kind of like a shower pole. If you could go buy a bunch of cheap shower poles, or like at least 3 of them, it'll help you with this because you can twist it and lock it into place. I was putting this Frost King insulation and I realized the board's not making good contact. I put the spray glue on the other side. I put it up in here. I fold these back. If you can see right here. This is actually going to get taped with aluminum tape. Get the board up there, spray glue it, hold it in place with this pole. This is going to overlap over the column because there's these metal columns. So these metal columns right here are going to have a thinner coverage. 1-inch foam board is an R6 and this Frost King is an R3. By doing it this way, I'm going to have maximum ceiling height. This tiny thin bit of Frost King insulation and then an 1/8 inch of ceiling. All right, I hope I explained that well because it's hot. I'm overwhelmed. This has been a tough project to figure out. Another key thing that you need to understand about this ceiling. Number one thing you got to worry about with this foam board is squeaking. Anytime the edges touch anything, especially metal, it squeaks. But look, even my skin, it makes noise when it rubs up against the edge. Be sure, if you see how these metal pieces run, I had to be sure that these foam boards were well inside, like an 1/8 inch inside of any of these columns that run, these supports that run across. I had a rub right here. It's pretty under control now, but because it's touching in that one little spot, 13. Right, this door's been open not even 5 minutes yet. This board is 84.5 because it's getting some air on it. Put the furring strips over this, whatever. And then are you trying to give me coronavirus? Why are you coughing? Big enough gaps against the edges that you don't hear anything. If I had to go into edge to edge, it would be making so much noise right now. He's like, I'm concerned about that. Are you gonna screw that into those beams? Dude, let me just be happy about my progress before we like start talking about all the problems that you see. I'm not even there yet. We're not screwing this up there. So let's be happy about what's working. Let's worry about that step when we get to it. So discouraging. We'll make it work. We'll figure it out. Especially when a lot of the things that aren't going to work end up working. I wish I would have got shower pulls. That way I can hold more of these at a time and I don't have to wait until the glue dries to move to the next piece. My impression of my dad. Are you gonna do that like that? That's not gonna work if you do that like that. You have to, and then long explanation that I don't even really understand. And then I start to realize that he's not really seeing what I'm seeing. Sometimes he's right and it's really helpful. It's all the time, every step of the way. Something I'm realizing about my parents, they both want to force their opinion on you. I'm supposed to have their opinion on everything. That's what it feels like. Like there's something wrong with you if you don't have the same opinion. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with me or like I'm bad if I have a different opinion. I gotta mount my solar panels and I'm gluing all these things into place. I'm probably gonna have to pull these things down, these wings. I really wanted to do the solar to the roof. The most secure. Maybe I'll do a rack, but I want it low and I want it secure. Fiberglass insulation. I would love, if they had wool at the hardware store, I would just buy wool. I'm probably just gonna stuff some of this in these cracks. We'll put another shrimp on the barbie for you. Stuck doing only one panel at a time. I only have one of these poles to hold it in place, and I want to make sure before I take down this pole that it's dry. I'm over here holding this piece up and it keeps falling. It took me a long time to figure out how I was going to do this ceiling. With this overlap, the 1-inch foam, the overlap with the Frost King duct insulation, this is going to work really well. I forgot to get more shower poles. I wanted to get a bunch of shower poles to hold these up.
Yeah.
Who was it?
I don't know. It was that guy there and then another guy over there.
Oh, at the same time.
Yeah, they were together. I'm gonna get their license plate though. Not really.
They left with the trunk open over there.
They got scared. I got a pretty good thing, so maybe I'll get it. This happens a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
woke up. Some holes that I made in some of these panels, so I'm gonna patch those up right now. My dad kept telling me using a self-tapping screw like this one to hold this up wasn't gonna work. Every day for the last 4 days, this is the first thing he tells us to me every day. He walks up to me working in here and he's like, oh, you're gonna need to put furring strips. It's not gonna work. Looks like it worked. Straight into the metal here and here, here and here, 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 and here. I'm sure you can hear the echo. When I upholster this, it's gonna reduce the echoing because the upholstery does a layer of foam and then fabric. My dad's saying for the last 3 days or whatever that this wasn't gonna work. Isn't this garage? Like, it's so cluttered, look. Like, you wanna set something down? This wasn't even clear before. I bought him this years ago. This drill press.
Good job of doing in Beverly Hills.
Oh, shit. Scary. I feel that? Watch. Hear that? That's the foam boards underneath me. Look at this angle right here. Should have had my ladder out a little bit further like that. Ooh. Hopefully I didn't scratch my car. I totally screwed up. I didn't record this. I cut this hole for the Skylight. It's perfect. I did this with a jigsaw.
You draw this rectangle that you want to cut out and then drill in each corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can try it. I wouldn't do it if it were me. But you can try it. See, you're going to wind up going outside
So
the line.
you think I'll get a more perfect circle if I use the...
Yeah. You're too far over. You're too far over.
I don't know what that means.
You're too far past. You're not on the line.
Oof.
Don't push so hard.
I'm barely pushing.
If you wanted to do a perfect job, the best way to do that would be put another piece of wood under that and drill into it.
Right. Why didn't we do that?
I don't know. Yeah, after you get the walls in, then I can say it'll look beautiful.
What do you mean it doesn't look beautiful?
It looks like it's on its way to looking beautiful.
Looks beautiful. That's not the normal mailman. I need to build that side.
Yeah.
Here's my beam that I'm making. I'm cutting with the jigsaw right now. It's not easy to do. I'm gonna cut a bend in this wood. That's gonna hold it up. Fits the curve. It took me so long to come up with this solution. I can have a perfectly flat seam between ceiling pieces. This is the only furring strip for the whole ceiling. I put the heavy stuff down low and really trim the weight up high. It's better for handling. You don't want to flip over. Go to the democratic areas. I gotta get a piece like longer than this to go right here, and I'm gonna glue this, make it all one piece. Hi, Maria.
Did you fix the table yet, Jeff, or no?
Yeah.
Hey, Dad's going in the Italia parking lot. Would you like something? Yeah, he wasn't going to ask you, and I said, aren't you going to ask Dave? And because he called me, and he goes, usually David doesn't want anything from there.
What? What are you talking about?
He's not remembering much. It's weird. Why is that pointed to me? You're going to make steak tonight. Okay.
Step off of this table, lay on this table, put a straight edge on it, and then use the skill saw.
Where do we put all this?
On that table right there.
I'm going to put a layer of foam for more insulation and sound deadening, and then some sort of fabric. Time to make a back panel with this board. I wake up, I don't take a shower, I just come out, I start working on the van. And I know I'm making videos and stuff, but we're comfortable with each other, right? So I just don't think, like, why waste time taking a shower when I'm just going to get dirty? This is what I mean by the back panel. That's how I'm going to hold up the back of the ceiling. I'm going to make a template. My plan is to push this up with my fingers and try to establish some kind of imprint in the paper. I got an idea. There we go. Magnets, they really help. I could even let it just sit here. Boom. Whoa. Now we got to transfer this onto the wood. I had to put a piece of this 1/8" plywood. I stapled it on as a spacer. The roof fell. These things, Greg Virgo. I guess in England it just doesn't get cold. I mean, it doesn't get hot. The sun shines in this thing and this thing just falls. So these things are not working. Well, they're sticky. My dad was saying was to wipe it down with acetone. I would say because of the heat. That's the one thing that's changed. It finally got hot. The only foam board I had up here in the whole van. It's cold out. It's like 55 degrees, not that cold. Condensation formed under the board. Why did the condensation form right here? The foam, that's where the foam was. Why Was the condensation only forming underneath that foam? Maybe because of the temperature of the foam? Maybe the heater warmed up the foam.
What would you like for dinner tonight? Do you have any idea? I don't have a plan.
What's that?
Frappuccino. Regular tacos? Do you want linguine and clam sauce? Do you want ravioli? Do you want to bring something in? Do you want Thai food? Do you want Chinese food? Do you want...
Looks good.
Yeah, that looks cool.
So this was my dad's idea to put the bike right here. Look at how low profile that is. It's right up against the side of the van.